do that. Is that the one I want to do? It's not really what the one I want to do. The one I want to do has, you know what? Let me just. There we go. We'll do this one. Hey guys. Well, before we do this one, let me get back. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We cover true crime. I'm sorry. I'm a little exhausted here. We've got breaking news right now. We've got breaking news, and it's not good. And I've got some other news that I'm also breaking this evening, which is very heartbreaking for me. And hey, me and you. Hey, guys. So, when we got back here from our event today, my mom called me. And I know you guys have been hearing me talk about my community politics for quite some time. One of my beloved commissioners died today, and it was Carol Ann Feltz. She was a lady that I've known, that I've worked next to and side by side next to for literally years, to fight Mosaic, to fight the developers. She had a very tough election, and she managed to pull it off. And today her assistant found her in her yard, dead. So I'm dealing with kind of all of that because she was a friend of mine. So I'm dealing with all of that. And then I hear that somebody threatened her assistant's job. I'm just going to tell it like this, and you guys can clip this and send it over, right on over. You guys can even send it to my sheriff. But I'm, like I just told Charlie Bishop, I sent him a message. He's our county administrator. He's the only person that has the ability to hire and fire. Her job better be protected. I'm going to say it right here, and I'm going to say it very loud and very clear. You do not want to mess with Bullhorn Betty. I will be out protesting in front of your house if you threaten this woman's job again. I do not play. I will not play. This is my line in the sand. And like I told him, if he didn't threaten her job, I'm sorry that my email is as harsh as it is. But I can tell you, people do not want to mess with me in my community after Carol Ann just died. I will not be a very kind individual. I truly believe that the monsters on that board put this lady in her grave. Not for any other thing, but it's pure stress. Pure stress. Pure stress. And how dare them approve Mosaic yet again. The whole community hates them. But we have a developer-backed and we have a piece of garbage governor named DeSantis that's going to put another developer-backed politician in that seat. And it doesn't even really matter because you know what? At the end of the day, we'll deal with that. And we'll just keep kicking these SOBs off the board. And we're going to fire DeSantis. Let him put a developer-backed piece of garbage on that commission. I'm not going to be a very kind person. I'm already pissed off at my entire county. So I'm going to take a little deep breath here before we get started on Miss Nancy, which, again, another Hot Mess Express case. And the horrible news that we're hearing today on Miss Nancy's case. We saw her daughter, Savannah, look completely, absolutely lost, hurt, trying to do what's right, told not to provide a reward. We were told, people are told a lot of things from law enforcement because law enforcement is supposed to know what the hell they're doing until they don't. They told her to withhold putting that reward up. And so finally she decided to put the reward up. This reward should have been up by week 1. We should have had this out. I don't care if it made them work 10 times harder. They should, if she was willing to do it, they should have had it up. Now we're finding out the DNA in the house or on the property was not a mixed DNA sample, or maybe this is a different sample that they're talking about. Oh, we don't know. because we're getting mixed signals. First of all, we had too many contributors to know what to do with, right? One sample had multiple contributors. That was the problem. They couldn't divide it or separate it and stuff like that. Now, all of a sudden, we have a partial. So this is telling me we've got multiple DNAs. In my opinion, this is what it's telling me. Because I don't know how both can be true. How can you have a multiple contributor sample and not enough for a full sample? It doesn't make sense. So do you have a combination, or do you only have one that's not full? So we've got some questions here, but I truly believe it has something to do with the fact that, I'm sorry, my brain's just fried over, I just found out about Carol. So just forgive me, I'm a little slow this evening because my mind is just not right. And my understanding for the DNA sample was that we had multiple contributors. We even discussed how the second contributor or third contributor must not be Nancy Guthrie, right? That Nancy Guthrie, it would be pretty straightforward if it was a combination sample and it was Nancy Guthrie's, because they have her complete profile. They can remove that complete profile. And now we're hearing that the sample is not even a full sample, so they can't even put it in CODIS. And so this case goes from bad to worse. We are now learning that it's possible and potential that we have two different events. We have the guy going there in his mask, in his shirt, without the backpack on for a casing, where he walks right up to basically to the front door, or the walkway to the front door, is where we see him. So we don't even see what is going on with this person at this house, but it's clear that somebody is doing reconnaissance on this property weeks before this absolutely happened. People believe that the backpack, and I've heard this from the beginning, before we even knew what happened to this woman, that they thought a tarp was in that backpack, that it looks like a tarp. And again, it comes down to the fact of, if we have a tarp in the backpack, this is not a person that went in there to kidnap somebody. Okay. You don't use a tarp for kidnapping. Okay. You just don't. So what happened February 11th? What is this all truly, truly over? We can tell that Savannah, she looks awful. And I think it's because she knows her mom's gone. And I've said this from the beginning, that they were holding out hope, and she's trying to hold out hope, but you can see her face. It's all over her poor little face. It's all over her poor little face. Hey, guys, come on in, guys. We got some breaking news, not good news, on the Nancy Guthrie case. Nancy Guthrie, we are getting some information back about the DNA, and the DNA seems like it is not a strong sample and not eligible for CODIS. So every time we turn around, we are hitting one bad wall and another bad wall when it comes to Nancy Guthrie. I don't know what's going to happen with this case. I really don't. It just seems like every single case we cover, law enforcement can't seem to solve the case, and I just don't know why. I mean, out of all the cases we cover, very little of our cases are truly solved. That's scary to me. That's scary to me. Summer Wells is still open. Layla Santinello is still open. Holland Snap is still open. I could just keep naming lists and names literally all day long of all these cases that remain open. And this is a fresh case, but it sure is hitting a lot of problems. And it's making me and it's probably making a lot of people very, very, very uncomfortable. Give me just a second, guys. Maybe I shouldn't have came live this soon after finding out about Carol, but the problem is that it's getting late and we got a big day tomorrow, so this kind of sucks a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to keep the camera off just for a few minutes until I clean myself up a little bit. This has been a really rough day for me. I mean, we did a great day out there. I think that we hit the marker out of the park today for what we wanted to do. It sounds like some of the people are coming into town, and we've got a lot of things going on. You know, we do have some weather and stuff, but we're already acclimated to the weather. We've already got provisions in place. We're bringing in pop-up tents. We've got some tables, chairs, and everything like that. So the event's going to be able to go on without a miss of a beat. And even if it does rain a little bit, it's going to be in the morning. We got the rest of the afternoon to finish it. So we're just going to be adjusting the cake time. We were going to serve the cake around noon. We're just moving that back to 2. So everything is going to be going on as we expected with this whole event. I'm very, very pleased so far. I expect to run into some minor problems tomorrow and some minor problems in the morning of Thursday. But I think the rest of the time we're going to be, oh, thank you, Melanie. We're going to be, okay. Yeah, I'm just a little raw over the, Carol, I just bought, we just went out for pizza just not this last week, but I want to say 3 weeks ago, but it's been, I think it's been almost 4 weeks ago, actually, because pretty much all of this month, February, I've been out of pocket because we were supposed to go, to South Carolina, but we didn't go to South Carolina, but we had the breaking news case of Nancy Guthrie. And so that's consumed a lot of it. So I haven't been back into the rooms except for one comment. I believe it was on the 16th that I made on a phone-in call. And I haven't been able to be there since because we've been working this case. I've been, I was meaning to go, but I forgot when I saw the 17th was coming around. I thought it was the weekend after, and it wasn't. It was that day. And so I missed that meeting too. But it just upsets me because the last time I saw Carol personally was about a month ago when I took her out to lunch, and we were at the meeting and we had a few things to talk about. And so I took her across. There's a pizza joint that I absolutely love. And so we went over there, and she's like, just as long as the pizza is less than $25, I just got to make sure my portion is. I'm like, I don't even think your portion's $8 is what I told her, because we got to be careful. Like, we're not supposed to be, like buying them stuff, but it's, she's a friend. I mean, I take my friends out to lunch all the time, and it's like, I gotta watch what I spend on her because she's a county commissioner and I don't want to violate the rules, or anything like that. But she was a good lady, and she fought the developers, and it's just like, we work so hard to stop some of this stuff going on in our county. And I don't know, it sucks. It just sucks. And to think that her assistant is so sweet too. Her assistant has been going through some stuff, and for her assistant to find her like that, I can't imagine how her assistant must be feeling. Her assistant must be freaked out, and I feel so bad for everything. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a freaking mess. But I tell you what, I'm pissed. Like, I wasn't, like, everything is kosher until I found out that they were threatening the job of her assistant already. Like Carol's not even cold yet. And you guys are trying to get her assistant out the door. Like, they don't want to play with me. I do not play well with others. Okay? I just don't. And that's enough to give Sheriff Rick Wells heartburn. Because Rick Wells is going to have to make some decisions here. Because I'm telling you, he's not going to violate my constitutional rights. And if you want to sit there and fire her assistants, well, you're going to be dealing with a lot of Bullhorn Betty's constitutional rights right in your face. You do not want to play with Bullhorn Betty. If I can turn towns across this country into shit shows, I can definitely do it in my own community. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. I brought a lot of people in. Don't ever underestimate the power of Bullhorn Betty. We brought a lot of people into that community when they tried to mask us up and lock us down and everything like that. We're not going to be playing this thing. And you know what? I'm a nice person, but that lady is a sweetheart. She just found her boss dead, and you guys are trying to get her fired. Like, that is not even any type of moral compass. And if I find out Charlie Bishop is doing it, I'm already gunning for his job as is. He really does not want to piss me off. Nobody really wants to piss me off. Nobody. because I will represent Carol Ann Feltz. And there's a lot of people that will help right along with you. I can tell you this, Glenn talked to her for an hour and a half yesterday. He's completely, utterly devastated. He's completely, utterly devastated. No, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. It's just. I'm just angry. I'm angry that she was so stressed out in her final days here. And that I'm going to bring to the board. The board's going to be walking on eggshells. I'll tell you that. They will be walking on eggshells because they don't want me walking on eggshells. I don't do it well. I don't do it well at all. Anyways, I guess say a prayer. And you know what? Glenn was just telling me that she was talking because she wasn't planning on, being in this position for long. She just wanted to come in and do what she needed to do to help her community and help her area. And she was talking about how when her 4 years were done, she was going to retire and head back to Key West. She was going to be. It sucks, but seems like the good always die young. But from what I'm gathering, it looks like everything that I heard, it seems like she was trying to head to her mailbox or something to that effect. And I have to assume a heart attack, or I don't know. They found her in her yard. She has a house out in the country with farm animals, animals that need to be taken care of daily. She was my county commissioner. That's all. She was a county commissioner. It is sad. But she was one of the good ones. That's all. So the ending of the day kind of sucked this evening. We found out one of my beloved county commissioners, Carol Ann Feltz, died today. And she was just elected, in 2024. So she still had 2 more years, the rest of this year, 2.5 more years to serve. And she was a good commissioner. She really was. And they treated her like crap on that board. They do not want to deal with me. This is going to be ugly. Ugly. This next 2 years to 2028, it's going to be ugly in that county commission. It's going to be ugly. Because I don't like any of them. A couple of them I like. She was one of the couple. Now I'm down to two commissioners that I like on the board. 3 commissioners. I kind of like Mike. I mean, I'm just upset with Mike's voting record, but Mike's never lied to me. He did underhanded shit, and I had to cut ties with him. But I kind of like Mike. But Carol Ann, they treated her like shit on that board, especially George Cruz. But George Cruz treats everybody like shit. This is going to be ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let you go because my brain's not getting out of Carol Ann. I can't even talk about Nancy because I'm so upset about Carol Ann. So say a prayer for my county. Say a prayer for my governor because I hope he doesn't bring us another POS to sit on that board like he did with Turner. That was the biggest mistake. And then for those that are coming in on Nancy Guthrie's case, thank you. United Cajun Navy are in Arizona searching. I'm glad they are, and then of course I hear JLR popping off at the mouth because of the beef that they had in Tennessee in the Sebastian Rogers case, which is where I'm at, still dealing with this case. And they have bad beef in that. And now you know, I'm already hearing, because I am following and monitoring that 857 guy, Tucson 857 or 857 Tucson or whatever his name is. And he's like, oh, the United Cajun Navy and JLR. And I was going to write in there, you know, the situation. I'm like, you know what? It's not my business. Let them work it out. They're big boys. They're big boys. I'm not getting involved. At the end of the day, I've got no beef with United Cajun Navy if they're doing what they need to do. Oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it. But I'm glad there's people out there searching. You know, at the end of the day, we have no searchers and law enforcement threatening us to go out there. Like, I'm so sick of people threatening. Like, who the hell do you, just because you wear a badge doesn't give you a right to do whatever the hell you want to do. No, we're not going to comply. And I'm over this. I'm just over this government works for us. And I'm sick and tired of bowing down and acting like I work for them. I don't work for them. They work for me. And at the end of the day, you guys all need to be taking that mentality too. Because when you have officers preventing you or telling you you can't do this, who are you to tell me I can't do this? Just because you wear a badge doesn't mean anything. The laws are very clear. I can be on public property any damn time I want to. And you know what? I can be harassed by law enforcement. I can also put injunctions against law enforcement, file complaints against law enforcement. Like, there's a lot we can do for law enforcement that are out of line. A lot of law enforcement act cordially, act respectfully. You know, don't do this. And I understand they're in a very tense situation where the public at bay just is not really too kind to law enforcement because we've watched publicly drop the ball. I mean, we need to also look at this on another side. At least we're getting some information about this case, right? Um, in Sebastian Rogers' case, the sheriff shut up, right? The sheriff doesn't even care. He doesn't care about the boy. He doesn't care about his father. He doesn't care about the community. He just wants it to go away. He doesn't want it to affect his election or whatever's going on. It's going to affect his election because I'm like I said, I'm like freaking, what did I say? I was like herpes. You know, once you get me, it's kind of hard to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to be on that butt here. We're going to be the boil on the ass of this politician here. And we're going to be going back home and I'm going to have a fight against my hands because I'm telling you, if they screw around with this assistant of Carol Ann after she just found this woman, her boss, deceased, I'm tired. I'm tired. I want everybody freaking fired. I don't even care anymore. I want Charlie Bishop gone. I want the freaking half the staff gone. I want everybody gone. And you know what? And the stuff that I'm hearing from this side is making me very, very unkind and ungracious to people. But I just don't like what's going on. I haven't liked what's going on. I've already been gutting for people's job, and now Carolyn just passed away. And that poor lady she was so stressed. But I tell you what, those other county commissioners there, they know how they treated that woman. And they'll never forget how they treated that woman. Because they got a bullhorn Betty in their town. All right, guys. Well, pray for the Guthrie family. Pray for Carol Ann Feltz's children and family and grandchildren. Pray for all the people that are struggling in our chat. Pray for Seth. It just seems like everything goes from bad to worse. I remember once upon a time when I was younger, it seemed like every few years would be bad years. And then, you'd have really, really, really good years. And then you'd have a couple bad years. And now it's just, I can't even remember when the last time we've had a really good year. I can't remember when we've had just a really, really good year. Just a positive year. There is none anymore. You know? So I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know when her funeral is. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff together, like even our new animal shelter, we just went to an event for that. She was 68 years old. She was young. Anyways, all right, guys. You don't need me slobbering all over you. I think I'm going to cry a little bit, and then I'm going to go to bed. And then we'll be up to fight for Sebastian tomorrow. So, peace out. We'll see you guys on the flip side.